Today, I'm gonna make a curry house inspired chicken tikka masala. We're gonna be cooking it from scratch in one pot. It's from my book, The Curry Guy One Pot. Let's get started. Okay, so as you can see, I've got all of my ingredients ready to go. This is all made to be made from scratch, and there's several ways you can do it. You could actually add just raw chicken and fry it, or even simmer it in the sauce if you wanted to. I like my chicken tikka masala with a bit of a smoky flavor. So what I've done is I've used my air fryer chicken tikka recipe from my book, the Curry Guy Air Fryer. Here it is. I've just par cooked it. It's not all the way cooked through. I also smoked it using a method called the Dungar method. And if you watch that video, you'll see how all that's done. Just gives it a nice smoky flavor, which I feel is really nice in a chicken tikka masala. So I got my pan nice and hot here. And I'm just adding some of this ghee. A couple tablespoons of ghee. We're just gonna let that melt in there. And while it's melting, I'm gonna take this chance to ask you to please comment, if you can, about what you would like to see on this channel, because I'm doing it for you. I'm trying to cook all the recipes from my books, but I'm going to be cooking them in the order of popularity. So if you have a recipe that you would like to see from one of my books or even on my blog that you'd like to see me film, please leave that in the comments, and the most popular ones will be filmed within the next few weeks. So here we are, we have our ghee nice and melted there. You could also use vegetable oil if you like. I've used ghee. So here I have my onions. I got 2 finely chopped onions. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt to those onions as well, just to help release some of the moisture from them and to help them cook faster. There we are. So this is very similar. The ingredients are very similar to the chicken tikka masala that I have here on the channel as well, that's done with a base sauce. But you don't need to use a base sauce for this one. I am going, just so you can see it, I am going to actually blend this sauce and use a blended version of the sauce. So it's more like what you'd expect if you went to a curry house. However, that's just an extra bit of work you need to do. You don't need to do it. If you want to just let the onions cook as you would if you were cooking an authentic curry, that's fine. Do that. Forget about the blending. But I'm going to do it just so those that want to see how it looks can see that, and we'll do that when we got it all ready there. So these onions have been cooking now for about 5 minutes. I am going to add some garlic and ginger paste to this. About 2 tablespoons there. And we're just gonna distribute that over the pan. Just like that. Just to cook out the rawness. It's gonna take about 30 seconds, that's all. To that, I've got some spices. And the spices, all the ingredients actually, are listed down below in the description, or if you're watching this on my blog, they'll be in the recipe card. So you don't need to memorize them. But I've got about a tablespoon of tandoori masala. I've got some paprika there, some mixed powder, which is kind of like a curry powder. You can use curry powder if you want, but I do have a recipe on the channel for mixed powder. I'm gonna add that all in there, along with some coconut milk flour and some ground almonds. We're just gonna move those all around in the pan, and as I do, it's gonna look very dry. It's gonna get dry fast. That's what you want to happen. There we are. So it doesn't get too dry, or burn the spices, I'm gonna go ahead and just add a tiny drop of water there. That's just gonna help everything move together and become one nice sauce. I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar to this. Chicken tikka masalas can be very sweet, and they can also be not so sweet. So you want to do what you feel is best. And I don't really like sweet curry, so I only add a little bit just for balance. We'll add that in there. And now we're going to add some chopped tomato. I'm adding about 3/4 of this can. We'll stir all that in. Just like that. We're going to bring that to a simmer, and then we're going to turn off the heat, and then I'm going to blend it and we'll finish the recipe. All right, and this is looking really good right now. We got our base masala, nice thick base masala. I'm going to turn the power off now, just to let that cool down a bit. Add a little bit of water just to help it blend. About 1/4 cup there, and also to cool it down some. And we're going to fill it into here and blend it until smooth. Okay, so we got a very nice, smooth tikka masala sauce here now. And pour that in there. Don't want to miss any of it, so I'm going to try and get a little bit more out of there with my spoon. And then we're just going to heat this up. There's a little bit more in there. I'll use some water to get the rest of it out. Don't like wasting good sauce. There we are. Remember, if your sauce is too thin, you can always cook it down. If it's looking too thick, add a little bit of stock or water. Now, chicken tikka masala is normally quite red, bright red in color, and that's done with this stuff, just food coloring. Has very little flavor. I'm not adding it to mine. I add it to a lot of curries. I don't have anything against red food coloring. It just, this time I'm not adding it. But if you wanted to add it and make it bright red like a chicken tikka masala often is, you can easily do that, about 1/2 teaspoon, or even a little bit more if you like, just until you get that color you like. There we are. So I've got my chicken, which I say has been par cooked and smoked, just like in my air fryer chicken tikka recipe. I'm just going to stir that in. If you wanted to, you could add raw chicken at this stage, or you could fry chicken. You could do whatever you like. But I like to air fry it and smoke it. It gives it a little bit better flavor. But definitely just, you can even take a marinated chicken, just marinate it the same way as I did with my air fryer chicken, and fry that in a pan. That'll work as well. If you're adding raw chicken, you're probably going to need to add a little bit more water or stock just to help it cook through. This is already pretty much, probably about 80% cooked through. I just need to bring it to a nice bubbling simmer, and this curry is going to be about done. All I need to add at this stage is a little bit of cream, some kasuri methi. I'm going to go ahead and add that now. We'll just rub that between my fingers. Gives it a really nice flavor of the methi. A little bit of garam masala. For warming spices. Give it a nice flavor of warming spices like cinnamon and cumin and coriander, cloves. There we are. And then last, I'm going to add some cream. And the amount of cream you add is really up to you. I've had chicken tikka masalas that don't have any cream, or people have even added yogurt. But with most chicken tikka masalas here in the UK, they add cream. My recipe says, I believe, about 200 milliliters. I've just added about 100 milliliters there, and I think that's going to be plenty for me. But you can add as much as you like or as little as you like. There we are. This is going to be just as good, if not better, than anything you can get at a restaurant. This isn't a really fast-paced restaurant. I'm taking my time here. I'm going to make sure it's perfect. A little bit of salt. Then if I have a spoon here, I believe I do, I'm gonna give it a taste test. Make this, and I promise you, you are not going to be able to fault it in any way. If you've got a metal pan and it begins to caramelize to the side, you can even stir that in, just like you would a chicken tikka masala that has base sauce. It just adds to the flavor. There's no flavor lacking in this, I'll tell you. I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon juice to this. Then, stick around. We can see what it looks like when it's all plated up. If you've ever wanted to make a proper chicken tikka masala at home without messing about with that base curry sauce, this one's for you. In this recipe, everything is cooked in one pot from scratch, yet you still get that rich, creamy restaurant flavor, and it's ready in about 30 minutes. Enjoy.